All right. Derby fans of Track 3, welcome to the Treasure Valley Roller Girl All-Stars versus Sac City Rollers Capital Punishers. Welcome, ladies. How are ya?
This looks like it's going to be a really tight bout. They're ranked really closely with Treasure Valley being 54th in the Wftda rankings and Sac City being 50th. So it's going to be a really exciting bout tonight.
Yeah, evenly matched teams, both kind of teetering with that between D1, D2 area. Want a good showing, want to prove that they belong in that D2 ranking. And so this should be a good evenly matched bout here, day one of the Big O.
It'll be a fun way to start the tournament for both teams, for sure.
So final little looks like captain's meeting in the center of the track. Sac City already on the line. They're ready to roll. Do you have recent bouts in Sac City?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
There you go. So Lucinda, as you mentioned, Treasure Valley comes in ranked 54th. Already this season has played Santa Cruz. They've played bad. They've hosted their own tournament where they went 2-2, took down Port Scandalous and Junction City, lost to SoCal twice. So pretty seasoned here early on for Treasure Valley. Already quite a few bouts under their belt.
Sac City's also had a pretty intense season already. They've played 4 games, and they've had the common opponents of Santa Cruz and SoCal. No wins yet this season, but I'm sure they want to turn that around this weekend.
Yeah, what a great place to do it. Got the cameras on you, lights are on, everybody's watching. Biggest tournament of the year thus far. Congrats to Emerald City again for putting on another fabulous Big O tournament. Thus far, we're only halfway through day one, and it's already great.
It's been so exciting. I don't know if you saw that drive-by Deep Valley bout. Oh man, nail biter.
Yeah, you know who the true Derby fans are in the stands when that game comes to an end. Half of them are going, "What did you do?" And the other half are going, "Yes, we have a chance."
This is the worst part. As a skater, you're standing there and you just want to get started.
Just want to get it going. Well, let's run down the rosters here real quick. For the Treasure Valley Roller Girls, out of Boise, Idaho, number 1697, Ella Snow Fury. Number 19, Riot At Ya. Number 1959, Demolition Barbie. Number 208, that's Idaho. 2517, Mia Wallops. 314, Lemon Harangue Die. 462, that's Dawn of the Shred. Number 5, Raggedy Annihilation. 514, Smack Skellington. Number 567, God Dame Savage. 630, Scarlet Danger. 66, Aurelia Spine. 8338, On a Highway to Hell. And number 951, Sinister Kate.
For the Sac City Rollers, we have 1013, Red Tornado. 12, Devastate Her. 15, H&IC. 1886, Jekyll and Hyde the Body. 1985, Con Artist. 327, The Knaka. 5, La Lucha. 50, Knee High Ninja. 503, Enemy of the State. 64, Hippo Squishamus. 68, Dies Array. 713, A Lethal Weapon. And 78, Bazooka Salt.
And we are underway here on track 3. Idaho jamming for Treasure Valley, Enemy of the State jamming for Sac City. Idaho pushing out up front, a multiplayer block called on Sac City there. Idaho gets knocked to the inside, and lead jammer is Enemy of the State. Idaho able to break through the pack as well. Now on her scoring passes, Enemy of the State hits the pack. Sinister Kate runs her to the outside, and Enemy of the State attempted to call it off, but she picks up a cutting the track. So now Idaho in a power jam situation, and 5 points on the board for Treasure Valley. Idaho makes her way around the track. Gets a little assistive blocking from Raggedy Annihilation, but Idaho knocks down. She gets right back up, and that's 5 more on the board. 4, 1 no pass, no penalty. 4 points for Idaho here.
And Treasure Valley's playing really good conservative defense. They give her 1 shot, and then she's on her own. Enemy of the State is back.
Treasure Valley forming a wall up in the back. Raggedy Annihilation barking out orders as Idaho gets up to the front. Turn 1, ridden out of bounds. She's going to have to recycle all the way back. Number 713, that's a lethal weapon riding out Idaho. As Idaho now makes her way back into the pack.
Really fantastic defense from Treasure Valley up front, forcing the jammer out and running her back.
Oh, and a back block called there on Enemy of the State. So back to the power jam situation for Idaho and Treasure Valley. For those that don't know, Treasure Valley in the white with the pink access, Sac City in the blue here. And so 1 jam down, Treasure Valley putting a 13 spot on the board. 2 points there for Sac City. Big opening jam there for Idaho and Treasure Valley.
Really excellent work by Treasure Valley in pulling those penalties and getting their jammer out to score some points.
Next up for Treasure Valley, number 46 and 2. That's Dawn of the Shred.
And starting in a power jam, they're playing really smart offense, trying to get Idaho out right away. Those 30-second penalties are super, super fast, so offense has to be played smart.
A 4-on-3 pack advantage here for the ladies in white and TVR, and Dawn of the Shred out of the box. Lead jammer status now looking to put points on the board. She goes outside, inside, hits the middle, pushes forward, and that's 5 in the sky for Shred.
Sac has received their jammers back and their blockers back, so now we're back to 5-on-5 as Idaho pushes through Sac City, trying to escape for another scoring pass. Oh, sorry.
Enemy of the State comes out of the penalty box, takes a hip check from Savage, but she's able to keep her skate. Highway to Hell tries to chase her down, but no luck as she makes her way around, and now Dawn of the Shred on the inside of the track calls it off, picking up 3 more points for Treasure Valley. And that was an 8-point jam for Dawn of the Shred.
Now we've got Desiree taking the jam for Sac City.
And for Treasure Valley, Demolition Barbie, number 1959. Just so happens that was the year Barbie was released, 1959.
Nice little piece of trivia there.
Both jammers right in the middle of the pack, mixing it up. Barbie looks for an inside line. She gets ridden to the inside by Bazooka Salt. That gives Desiree a chance to squeaks out front and gets lead jammer for the first time this afternoon for Sac City. Demolition Barbie with 1 blocker in front of her. That's a lethal weapon. Barbie goes to the outside, tucks around, and she breaks through, while Desiree hits the pack on a scoring run. She gets through, and that's going to be 4 points for Sac City.
Both teams are playing really impressive offense. Their bridging is on point, and they're seeing the holes. Their jammer's really able to take advantage.
When you see the communication, especially here around 3 and 4 that we can see, you can really hear the blockers talking to each other, telling each other where to go, where the jammer is. Some good teamwork being displayed here early on.
We have number 5, La Lucha, jamming for Sac City.
And for Treasure Valley, 1697, that's Ella Snow Fury. La Lucha goes to the outside. Highway to Hell attempts a hit. She missed. Scarlet Danger does not miss. Knocks the Lucha to the outside. But an out-of-play called on Scarlet Danger, so she goes to the penalty box. Ella Snow Fury takes a big shot from Red Tornado. She goes to the inside track. And there goes La Lucha, lead jammer for Sac City. Ella Snow Fury still on her initial pass, while La Lucha on a scoring run. She's got to get by the 3-wall up front, and no pack is called, so they've got to let her go, and that's 5 points for Sac City and Lulucha.
Sac City's putting up a hell of a fight, making it really, really hard for the Treasure Valley Jammer to get out. Their wall is super tight, and it's recycling and reforming quickly.
Yeah, that's Con Artist, Red Tornado, the NACA, and number 15, H&IC. Those are the 4 blockers on the track for Sac City. Directional called there on number 1985. That's Con Artist. She goes to the penalty box. La Lucha back in the mix here. She takes an elbow or a shoulder from Highway to Hell, but she's able to keep her skate, put 5 more points on the board for Sac City in this power jam. Now 21-17. Treasure Valley just trying to hold on here, and La Lucha takes a big hit from Scarlet Danger, and from her backside calls off the jam.
I know from personal experience that Scarlet Danger packs quite a wallop. That can't be pleasant.
Scarlet's not afraid of contact, that's for sure.
We've got number 503, Enemy of the State, donning the star for Sac City, up against 208, Idaho from Treasure Valley.
As both jammers are off, Sinister Kate with a little hip check on Enemy of the State. Enemy of the State able to recover, and a little hop over the apex, picking up lead jammer for Sac City. Idaho with 2 blockers out front to beat. As she gets ridden out of bounds, good job to keep her skate firmly planted on the outside to avoid the cutting the track. As Enemy of the State now mixing it up, she gets recycled all the way back by Raggedy Annihilation. And with jammer Idaho hot on her tail, she calls it off after picking up 3 more points here. So a 20-point run by Sac City, now giving them the 1-point lead here with just under 22 minutes to go. Next up for Treasure Valley, that's Dawn of the Shred. As she goes up against Desiree for Sac City. Treasure Valley opening up an early 21-2 lead, but now a 20-point answer by Sac City has given them the 1-point lead. As lead jammer is awarded to Desiree. Savage tried with a hip check, almost got her out, but good job by Desiree to keep her skate and get around the track. Now she's got to get around Scarlet Danger. Scarlet rides her to the outside of the back straightaway.
Sac City's doing a really good job finding each other and creating strong walls and keeping an eye on the pack so they don't have any destruction and they can bridge their teammates out to keep still contained.
Desiree from her toe stops on the outside, picking up 4 points, calling the bout off. And that's going to take Sac City up 26-21 with 20.5 minutes to go in the first period. Pretty even like we thought. Good defense, some good jamming.
Really impressive recycling. Both teams are able to bring their walls back together and contain the jammer. When you think they're just about to get out of the pack, they get sucked back in.
Yeah, Demolition Barbie playing a little defense, hitting La Lucha off the line. La Lucha recovers, gets to the front of the pack as Demolition Barbie behind a 2-wall in the back. And La Lucha able to break through with lead jammer. Demolition Barbie now about a half track behind her, also out of the pack.
And you see Sac City immediately go on the offensive and try and break up Treasure Valley and get their jammer points. Really good recognition.
Both teams fighting for that prime real estate just inches in front of the jammer line. Did you play when we used to start on the pivot line?
I did. I remember pivot line starts, and I also remember knee starts.
Yes. Thank goodness we don't do those. Enemy of the State jamming for Sac City. And that's number 208, Idaho, out there for Treasure Valley. Both
Sac has had this really impressive runs up the outside line, and you just think they're going to get through and their jammer's going to get lead. But here we see that Treasure Valley was able to run up and reform at the front and get lead themselves.
Now both jammers now out of the pack. Idaho with the lead jammer designation, eyeing down the wall of blue. Where's she going to attack? She attacks on the outside, dips and ducks, and picks up 3 points for Treasure Valley. So that's going to take our score now. 24 Treasure Valley in the white with the pink accents. 27 Sac City in the blue. 18.5 minutes to go.
We've got Desiree, number 68 from Sac City, donning the star, and Dawn of the Shred jamming from Treasure Valley.
And the whistle lets them go. Desiree right up to the front, but there's Sinister Kate and Aurelia Spine to meet her. Dawn of the Shred stuck behind a 3-wall and back, and Desiree able to break through for lead jammer.
The offense right off the line is really helping Sac City get lead jammer. They've had an impressive run of lead this half so far.
Desiree avoids a hit from Raggedy Annihilation, and she breaks through, picks up 4 points, and promptly calls it off. And so that will take Sac City up 31-24, 17.5 minutes here in period 1. Day 1 of the Big O. Some really interesting matchups coming up throughout the whole weekend. If you're watching online, you're going to want to stay glued to WFTDA.tv all weekend. You got like Texas and Philly and Ole's around and Rose is floating around. Plus you get matchups like this.
There's also B-team, men's, juniors. It's a full weekend. I heard that there are 34 teams in attendance.
That's a lot of teams. Demolition Barbie jamming against La Lucha. La Lucha with a lead jammer status, now eyeing the pack. She hits that wall of white up front, and she calls it off after taking a hip check from Savage. 4 points for La Lucha there. Sac City now with an 11-point lead early on here, just about halfway through this first period. And Enemy of the State back out there for Sac City. And Idaho jamming for Treasure Valley. Pretty tight jammer rotation here early on by both teams.
They definitely have their go-tos, and they've both been effective. Idaho has a good lead percentage, and so does Enemy of the State. I think it's also a testament to blockers for both sides. We're seeing both teams play offense, which is really impressive when it's such a close game that one team hasn't switched to just solid D, lock down the jammer, get points, and try and run away with the game.
Yeah, well said. Idaho able to make her way around as Enemy of the State still on her initial pass. So Idaho picks up a 5-point pass. And that's a well-needed 5 points for Treasure Valley as they've been scoreless for a little bit. High block called on Aurelia Spine. She goes to the penalty box. Enemy of the State still with a 3-wall in front of her. Idaho on her second scoring pass, looking for a little alley. She gets knocked out of bounds by Con Artist. Con Artist is going to make her come all the way back to the beginning of turn 1. And Idaho lining up the competition once again. She pushes out to the front. And now we have...
I think that was an attempted panty pass by Sac City. That star doesn't have to go on while you're in the engagement zone anymore. That's a rule change, but it does have to be on your head for you to score points.
Yeah, you can hold it and you're good, but you got to maintain that control. So jam is called off. Treasure Valley now just down 2 points, an 8-point jam there for Idaho, and now Dawn of the Shred takes the star for Treasure Valley.
And we got Desiree back on the jammer line for Sac City. She's escorted out by Scarlet Danger and tries to find an opening on the inside line, but just finds more Treasure Valley.
On a Highway to Hell gives a shoulder check to Desiree, knocks her to the infield. Dawn of the Shred with a wall of blue up front. It's just one hit after another up there. Highway to Hell comes in to help. Dawn of the Shred now forcing the issue up front, looking for that out-of-play call as she keeps pushing, and now is awarded lead jammer as Desiree still behind Treasure Valley's defense. Scarlet Danger, Aurelia Spine, smack Skellington, and Highway to Hell. As Dawn of the Shred now circles the track on a scoring run.
And Dawn just faces 2 blockers and easily pushes them out of play for 5 points as Desiree is still stuck in the pack.
Yeah, Treasure Valley holding Red Tornado back there, got the no pack call, and that's going to allow Dawn of the Shred to get through and score points. As she circles around now, 1 to beat, that's Red Tornado. She makes quick work of that, and that's 5 more for Dawn of the Shred.
Really fantastic run for Treasure Valley here. Desiree is still on her initial pass, and she's just getting beat up by those 4 Treasure Valley blockers. Good momentum at a good point in the game, as Treasure Valley has put on at least 10 points at this point in this jam.
Yeah, Dawn of the Shred kind of showing right now why she was the MVP of the D2 tournament in Des Moines last year at the end of the season, as she is just taking over this jam. Another 5 points.
Scarlett gets a little excited and gets a direction of play penalty as she hit Desiree down and out.
She's always got a smile on her face. And that's going to end the 2-minute jam. 4 more points for Treasure Valley and Dawn of the Shred, and now the lead 52 to 35. Close to a 30-point jam. I didn't quite keep statistical track of what was going on there, but a big, big jam by Dawn of the Shred to give Treasure Valley a nice lead.
Especially impressive since the jammer, it was not a power jam. Those were all natural grand slams. Desiree never exited the pack.
That's, I think, where as a jammer you come back to the bench and you give your blockers all high fives, because they've got you 90% of those points by holding back the opposing jammer.
Really impressive wall work by Treasure Valley.
Well, let's make sure we thank our Bi-Coastal 104.7 KDUK. We would like to thank 104.7 KDUK, My Hits, right now for sponsoring the Big O tournament. So a little powwow on the track. The team timeout on the scoreboard. Yeah, so Sac City calling a timeout there after that jam. Probably a good call, settle everybody down, hit the reset button, and come back at it as they send out La Lucha, number 5 for Sac City, and she goes up against Demolition Barbie for Treasure Valley.
Both packs are down 1 blocker, but it doesn't seem to matter. Demolition Barbie is still stuck behind a wall of blue, and Treasure Valley has got La Lucha firmly in hand.
Aurelia Spine being a one-woman wall in the back as long as she can, but La Lucha able to break through. Demolition Barbie now with 1 skater to beat. She gets through. That's her initial pass. La Lucha on a scoring run here as she gets ridden out of bounds by Raggedy Annihilation and Sinister Kate as she calls the jam off. 2 more points there for Sac City. Mine's doing the same thing. Idaho jamming again for Treasure Valley. Number 68, Desiree jamming for Sac City.
Idaho is coming up against hit after hit, hip after hip of Sac City, while Desiree is trying to string out Treasure Valley there, and eventually she finally gets lead.
Idaho still stuck in the pack. A wall of blue up front of her as Desiree now on a scoring run. She hits a wall of white in the back. And we got a back block called on Raggedy Annihilation. She goes to the penalty box. Desiree picking up 5 points here for Sac City.
Treasure Valley's got to quickly go from offense to defense as Desiree circles round and gets another 5-point scoring pass.
Desiree giving Sac City exactly what they needed here, an answer to Dawn of the Shreds jam, as she gets 5 more points. And now on her third scoring pass, a little juke to the outside, cuts it on the inside, and it's wide open. She calls it off with 4 more.
That probably feels really good after being stuffed for that monster jam by Dawn of the Shred. A little vindication for Desiree there.
Turns out to be a good timeout called by Sac City. That's now a tie game, 52-52, with 9.5 minutes to go here in the first period. A very well played timeout there by the Sac City coaching staff.
We've got quite the defensive start as both teams creep forward slowly, and both jammers get forced out and run back.
Dawn of the Shred able to break through for lead jammer for Treasure Valley.
But she's followed hot on her heels by La Lucha, who's less than half a track behind her.
4-on-3 pack advantage here for Treasure Valley as Dawn of the Shred, going backwards, gets the point on the track, gets the point in the penalty box, and she goes to the bench with 2 points in her back pocket.
Great positioning by Sac City being up front, trying to protect their points and give their jammer opportunity to score.
A Demolition Barbie back out there for Treasure Valley. Desiree jamming for Sac City again. If you're just joining us, Treasure Valley in the white with the pink accents. Sac City in the blue. Demolition Barbie with some jukes and jives, going inside, going outside. She's got one to beat. That's number 12. Devastate her as Desiree sneaks around through the inside, picks up lead jammer for Sac City. Demolition Barbie ridden to the outside, and here comes Desiree now on a scoring pass.
An offense opening a hole for Desiree so she could score that 5-point pass.
So back and forth we go. Both teams at times putting on a heck of a defensive display, and at other times the opposing team takes over. So 7.5 minutes to go, period 1. Sac City with a 59-54 lead over Treasure Valley. Just what we expected.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be back and forth all night. Both teams are playing hard, but they're very controlled. They're very methodical. Their walls are finding each other. Their defense is tight. It's very impressive to watch both teams.
And I kind of glance over at the penalty board there. I don't see anybody really in any immediate penalty danger. A couple skaters for Sac City with 2 penalties, maybe 3. But meanwhile, La Lucha with lead jammer status, and Idaho now able to break through on her scoring, on her initial pass, now on her scoring run.
The blockers from both teams are so evenly matched. Nobody needs to be a hero. There's no desperation out there. They're just playing each team their game, and they're really executing, which I think is why it's so close.
And both teams probably, it seems like, have a similar strategy. Good walls, go help when you can, play some offensive blocking maneuvers, and put the weight on your jammer's shoulders and let them go get it. And both jammers for both teams are doing it. Dawn of the Shred and Desiree jamming for their respective teams. Dawn of the Shred gets up to the front quickly, but meets a 2-wall.
Treasure Valley forces out and runs back, but so does Sac City, so now it's a race in the opposite direction.
That's got to be so hard when you're all the way to the front. You've got one skater to beat, and you just barely go out of bounds and got to recycle all the way back. It's just got to be demoralizing. But Dawn of the Shred bouncing right back, picking up lead jammer.
Yeah, that's absolutely the worst feeling. You think that you're done and you're gone, but no. They suck you back in, and you have to fight all the way back through.
3-on-4 pack advantage here. 4-on-4 now in the pack as Desiree stuck in the back of the pack as Dawn of the Shred breaks through with a 5-finger special of her own. As she takes a deep breath, pumping her arms, coming around the corner, looking for more here. Desiree getting tripped up by her own skater, number 12, Devastator. And Desiree recycled back. Dawn of the Shred on the infield getting recycled. And reverse skate. We have a reverse skate.
Really impressive move by Sac City there as they stopped Treasure Valley from going back any further, ending that reverse race, but allowing Desiree to go ahead and cut in front of that one blocker and get back in the mix.
As Desiree picks up a cutting the track penalty, and now Dawn of the Shred in a power jam situation, and before Desiree can even get to the penalty box, she calls it off. So Treasure Valley will start the next jam in a power jam with the full 30 seconds, not a minute, 30 seconds with a jammer in the penalty box. And Treasure Valley holding on to now a 3-point lead with just under 4 minutes to go. Treasure Valley 65, Sac City 62. Back and forth we go. And they're going to put Demolition Barbie on the jammer line in this power jam.
Sac City's not just down their jammer, but they're down a blocker, so it's 3-on-1 as Demolition Barbie finally pushes them forward and gets lead jammer.
Passive offense being displayed here by Treasure Valley as Demolition Barbie stretching that pack out, trying to get that 20 feet. She gets it, and that's 5 points on the board for Barbie.
Treasure Valley lets Barbie fight for herself as they go ahead and bridge back Desiree as she re-enters the pack.
Desiree just now completing her initial pass as Demolition Barbie on a scoring run. She looks over at the bench, gets the signal, calls it off, and puts 4 more on the board. And we've come down to 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Treasure Valley now 12-point lead, 74-62. But 12 points in this seems like a field goal in football. I mean, 12 points is nothing.
Absolutely. Both teams are doing such a good job defensively, holding back jammers, even when it's not a power jam. Any jam could be a 12-point jam.
Well, we saw Dawn of the Shred put up almost 30 points in a natural jam, air quotations on that, as both jammers are on the track. And here goes La Lucha, lead jammer for Sac City.
That's that Sac City patented offense off the line, getting their jammer out right away.
And we've got a bench clearing out of the penalty box. Raggedy Annihilation comes out, as well as the Sac City skater, 713, Lethal Weapon. And the jam is brought to an end. So 140 to go here, 74-64, Treasure Valley in an exciting first 30 minutes of play here on track 3. La Lucha back out there for Sac City. Dawn of the Shred for Treasure Valley.
Treasure Valley's got a slight pack advantage with one Sac City blocker in the box, and Dawn of the Shred is lead jammer.
She made quick work of that pack, got out in a hurry, as La Lucha also out about quarter of a track behind her. Dawn of the Shred hitting that pack, twisting her hips, slapping her hips with her hands, and it's a 0-0 jam.
Sac City is doing a really, really good job when they're not lead jammer of getting to the front of the pack, giving their jammer an opportunity to catch up and maybe score a couple points. But that also gives Treasure Valley the opportunity to put up their fierce four-wall and really try and lock it down.
Yeah, pros and cons to both. Get your points to the front or make your back wall in the back and try and hold them back. Sac City doing what they want to do, and Treasure Valley doing the same thing. Both teams really able to play their game here early on.
And there's a multiplayer call on Sac City as Demolition Barbie bakes through the pack and gets lead jammer.
4-on-3 pack advantage here for Treasure Valley as Demolition Barbie comes sliding around the outside. She does a pirouette, calls off the jam, and picks up 4 points for Demolition Barbie and the All-Stars from Treasure Valley. And that's going to take us to halftime. The Treasure Valley 78, Sac City 64. And we're going to take a quick little 15-minute halftime. Listen to everything we expected there. Great jamming, great wall work, great teamwork.
Absolutely. And I think the second half's going to be more of the same. I think that Sac City is going to have a little pep talk and come out hungry, maybe a little bit more fierce in the second half, and we're going to get even more back and forth.
And Treasure Valley actually somewhat in a position they're not usually in. They tend to be a second half team. They tend to have a little bit of a deficit at halftime and really come out in the second half fully charged. This has been their MO for the last few years, so I fully expect them to come out and really bring another level of energy. So stick around, refill your cups, pop that popcorn. If you're here at the Big O, get your refreshments. Come on back in about 10 minutes, 8 minutes, and we'll bring you the second half of Treasure Valley versus Sac City. All right, we got about 1 minute till we start this second period. Took a quick peek at the penalty board as Treasure Valley does their cheer right in front of me. Treasure Valley with just one skater right now in any kind of penalty situation, and that's Raggedy. She's got 3. Sac City got one skater with 4, H&IC, Con Artist and a Lethal Weapon, both with 3. So outside of that, there's not many penalties. So it's been a pretty clean bout as well. Both teams really playing clean, hard-hitting roller derby.
And you can tell by the defensive nature of these jams, there's a lot of 4-on-4 play, which keeps all of the jammers, stuffed in the pack, and it's really good force outs and run back, and it's a lot easier to do that when you have all of your teammates on the track with you.
And as a jammer, you got to work a lot harder when all the skaters are out there on the pack.
Absolutely.
So period number 2, just about ready to begin here. And just like we started, in Treasure Valley going to send out number 208, that's Idaho, going up against number 503, Enemy of the State for Sac City. Treasure Valley in the white with the pink and black accents, Sac City in the blue. And the second half has begun. Idaho looking to play a little defense off the bat. Sinister Kate with a hit, but a forearm called on that hit, so she goes to the penalty box. Idaho recycled the inside, and look at Enemy of the State going around the outside. She picks up lead jammer as Idaho still stuck behind a wall of blue. Con Artist and the Red Tornado left to beat for Idaho as Enemy of the State now on a scoring run. The back of the pack there, Raggedy Annihilation keeping a close eye on her.
Sac City is just not making the night easy for Idaho.
Twice Idaho, it looked like she was just about ready to escape and then just Good fill-ins, as you talked about, filling in those voids by those blockers and reforming that wall up front. And Sac City's doing it to a T here early on.
And Treasure Valley is trying to play offense, but Enemy of the State has got fast passes, making it really hard for them to spend any time on offense.
A cutting the track penalty called on Idaho, so that's going to put Enemy of the State and Sac City on a power jam, as she's already picked up 5 points. She's going to call it off, put some fresh legs out there on the jam line with a power jam start. And La Lucha, number 5, given the star for Sac City. 4-point lead here by Treasure Valley as we one jam in, 28 minutes and 20 seconds to go. Four on four in the pack for this, the second jam of period 2. La Lucha.
Sac City's offense brings their jammer, and they have lead as they continue this power jam.
That's twice now a Sac City jammer has been able to take that outside line and pick up lead jammer, as La Lucha with a 5-finger special for Sac City.
Idaho is back and forced out by H&IC. As they bridge her back, got La Lucha coming in for another scoring pass.
Five more points there awarded to La Lucha for Sac City, and so that's going to take them now up 89-78, 27 minutes to go. You called it, Sac City. Hit the reset button, has come out strong here in the first 2 jams.
We've got Dawn of the Shred for Treasure Valley facing up Enemy of the State. Dawn's got such an aggressive style. She really is pushing and getting in there and going up against those walls. She's just going to get through by brute force.
Now she's got to be careful there not to get her head in there to make contact, so she gets a blocking with the head as she leans in for that push, but it works for her. She picks up lead jammer for Treasure Valley. And Enemy of the State now able to escape on her initial pass. Dawn of the Shred on a scoring pass. Got one skater to beat, turns her hips around her, goes to the ground, calls it off, and that's a 4-point pass for Dawn of the Shred.
Dawn should go and high-five all of those blockers for that beautiful offense, breaking up Sac City and making it a relatively easy pass for her.
Want to thank Wild Duck Cafe. Visit the Wild Duck Cafe for fresh-made sandwiches, salads, snacks, coffee, as well as your favorite beverage. Visit the Lobby Grill for burgers, fries, hot dogs, chicken wraps, and more. The Wild Duck Cafe.
2-on-4 pack advantage Treasure Valley, but it doesn't stop H&IC from forcing out Demolition Barbie and running her back.
As we go reverse skate here, both jammers looking for a place to get back in on a highway to hell, pulling her all the way back from the straightaway, reverse skate to turn 1, and now both jammers back in the mix as Scarlet Danger with a big hit.
And there's La Lucha on the inside line and out for lead jammer.
A hard-fought and a well-earned lead jammer there for La Lucha as she eyes up the competition on a scoring pass. Demolition Barbie getting recycled to the back of the pack. La Lucha breaks through for 5. She gets to the jammer lap point as Demolition Barbie, still on her initial pass, goes down hard to the inside. That was Con Artist riding down Demolition Barbie. Con Artist goes to the penalty box. Barbie breaks through her initial pass. 5 more points for La Lucha. And now Sac City stretching their lead out, 99-82, 24 minutes to go. Plenty of time to go here. But Treasure Valley needs find some momentum, find something to take on their side and own it.
They have some real great moments of quick offense. I think they just need to find the opportunities and execute it a little bit more in this second half to get their jammers out and get their jammers points.
Easy for us to say. We're sitting in chairs talking into a microphone.
Absolutely easier said than done, especially when that jammer's coming around and scoring points.
Enemy of the State jamming for Sac City. Idaho out there for Treasure Valley. Look at that wall in the back by Sac City. Idaho up on her toe stops, pushing with those murder sticks, trying to get to the front. She goes to the inside, and that's a cutting the track penalty. Idaho goes to the penalty box for Treasure Valley. Aurelia Spine not too far behind her. So now a 3-on-2 pack advantage for Treasure Valley, but Sac City in a power jam situation.
Treasure Valley's got really excellent defensive positioning. They're almost not even moving when they're together in a wall, holding that jammer back.
Good recovery there by Enemy of the State. She gets knocked out of bounds by Raggedy Annihilation. She's able to cut right back in behind her and now fights her for lead jammer and wins. And a 3-on-3 pack advantage here for Sac City as she calls the jam as Idaho was coming out of the penalty box. So penalty over for Treasure Valley. And now La Lucha and Dawn of the Shred take the jam line.
Beautiful defense in that last jam by Treasure Valley, a full minute before lead jammer was established.
That is a good penalty kill there by the ladies in white from the City of Trees, Boise, Idaho.
La Lucha's forced out and run back, and now has to fight through just a blob of white blockers.
Just a blob of white blockers. Dawn of the Shred, lead jammer for Treasure Valley. As La Lucha looks for an alley, she can't find one. Highway to Hell and Scarlet Danger up front. But that's Red Tornado applying a nice screen. Savage, the last blocker. Highway to Hell comes in to help. Aurelia Spine lands a shoulder. Dawn of the Shred still on a scoring run here. Lots of action going on here on the track as Dawn of the Shred now with a 5-point jam for Treasure Valley. La Lucha takes another shoulder from Highway to Hell. She just can't get through that front wall. Aurelia Spine, Savage offering assistance, and there's another 5 points for Dawn of the Shred.
Treasure Valley has this amazing line of blockers. So La Lucha doesn't just get one hit, she gets 2 hits, and then 3 hits, and then they reform in front of her to slow her down. Amazing defense by Treasure Valley.
Dawn of the Shred gets the Texas Longhorn signal from the inside of the track. 2 more points for her. And that's going to take Treasure Valley now 94 to Sac City's 100 at 20 minutes and 30 seconds to go. Whew. This is a great, great game now. We call them games now, apparently.
Both teams have really amped it up in this second half.
Sac City took the momentum early on here in the second half, but Treasure Valley now able to grasp a little bit of that, and they rely on their MVP, Dawn of the Shred, to give them some points, as now they give the star to Demolition Barbie.
Enemy of the State is jamming for Sac City as she gets escorted out.
Oh, blue 503 with it cutting the track. That's Enemy of the State, and so now Demolition Barbie with lead jammer status in a power jam situation and a 4-on-3 pack advantage for Treasure Valley. This is what they wanted right here. No pack is called. They got to let Barbie go, and they do, and she gets 5 points for the All-Stars of Treasure Valley.
Treasure Valley playing a little bit of passive offense. Looks like it's going to turn into active offense and then defense real quick. as Enemy of the State is back on the track.
Demolition Barbie finally able to get past the last line of defense. She gets 5 points as she circles the track looking for more. And she takes a big shot at turn 2, goes to the inside track. She's able to recover, make sure she comes back in behind everybody she's supposed to, and you know what that feels like.
Oh yeah, I'm just cringing watching Scarlett lay that wallop on her. I felt that. Back when they were minors, I would intentionally cut Scarlett.
Just to get around her. Demolition Barbie with her hands from her helmet to her hips, calling the jam off. And now we've got a lead change. If you're playing at home, drink up 109-100. Treasure Valley now in the lead with 18 minutes to go. And we're going to sound like a broken record, but it just goes back and forth. This momentum swing just keeps going from bench to bench.
We've got 68 Desiree jamming for Sac City and 208 Idaho for Treasure Valley. And it's a 2-on-3 pack advantage. Oh, 3-on-3 now. Oh. And that's a cut call on Desiree as she accidentally spins back in bounds.
And she didn't make that attempt to immediately go back out of bounds, which might have saved her that cutting the track there, but by establishing her position back in bounds, it's an easy call for the officials there.
Yeah, the new rule is definitely, there's some gray area there, but you have to make an attempt.
So power jam situation here for Treasure Valley once again, and this time it's Idaho. And she's got one forceful blocker up there. That's Icy, number 15 for Sac City. And she gets an out-of-play call, so she's going to go to the penalty box. 5 points for Idaho. Coach Beastwood with instructions to call it off and reset the line. As we come down now, 16 minutes, 45 seconds. Treasure Valley 119, Sac City 100.
And they'll have a couple of seconds of power jam to give Donna the Shred an opportunity to get lead right off the bat.
Hey, do you want to win 2 RollerCon MVP passes? These highly sought after as they are sold out. The Big O raffle is how you can get them. Get your tickets. Multiple ways to buy them. 1 for $1, 6 for $5. And they go up from there as Dawn of the Shred now out of the pack. Lead jammer for Treasure Valley.
Quick offense by Sac City gets their jammer out. Desiree is out of the pack and now onto a scoring pass. And Dawn of the Shred has a back block call, so now it's a power jam for Sac City.
So a little momentum shift maybe coming back towards Sac City's way as Desiree picking up 5 points for Sac City. And she circles the track in no time at all. And that's another 5-point pass for number 68.
This Sac City offense is really helping their jammers.
Yeah, they're not afraid to come up and play a little offensive roller derby here as Treasure Valley now back to full strength. Just 3 blockers on the track for Sac City. Treasure Valley with a full set of blockers, really giving Desiree a hard shot there by number 713, a lethal weapon, on Dawn of the Shred.
Dice gets through the pack with a quick step to the outside and around Treasure Valley. Got another 5-point scoring pass there as Dawn of the Shred's still in the pack.
As we got a Sac City lead change, and now a Treasure Valley takes the lead, but 123-120 Treasure Valley, but now 4 points for Sac City is going to give them a 1-point lead, and we go back and forth in just this jam alone as Desiree on another scoring pass. Aurelia Spine loses her balance, and thank goodness she had a helmet on. Her head took a little thump on the ground.
Definitely sounded like it hurt.
keep an eye on her, make sure she's doing okay. We don't want to play around with concussions. We had a timeout on the track. Sac City calling their second timeout.
First game for both teams this weekend, and they've got a full schedule. Sac City's going to play Aldrich and Terminal later this weekend. And Treasure Valley has a really, really aggressive schedule this year. They've already played bad. They have played Santa Cruz and SoCal. They're going to play Ole and Rose this weekend.
Yeah, they went with a go big or go home attitude this year and said, well, we're going to play anybody we can. And, you know, you're out west playing roller derby. There's a lot of good teams out west here.
West Coast, best coast.
Yeah. So timeout over on the track. But just to clean up your point, yes, Treasure Valley really, they kind of made a name for themselves at the end of last year in the D2 tournament with the run that they had there. And so they just came in this year and said, we want to up our game. And the only way you get to be the best is to play the best. So my hat tips off to them. And right now, they're in a dogfight with Sac City. Sac City holding a 2-point lead, 14 minutes and 13 seconds to go. It's anybody's bout.
Absolutely. Timeout's over, and we got La Lucha, number 5 for Sac City on the line against Demolition Barbie, 1959 for Treasure Valley. Sac City's got 2 blockers in the box.
Treasure Valley with all 4 of their blockers out there, and Scarlet Danger draws a cutting the track penalty on that was, oh yeah, okay, cutting the track penalty on La Lucha. Savage for Treasure Valley also going to the penalty box. So now Demolition Barbie in a power jam situation, and look at her go with a red tornado, pushing her all the way out and picking up 5 points.
That's a beautiful, subtle move by Scarlett to pull that cut. Just a slight step backwards, and that's all you need, and La Lucha's in the box.
Red Tornado drawing Demolition Barbie all the way back to the jam line to recycle her. 3-on-3 in the pack. And Demolition Barbie is lead jammer. We know that by the ref pointing at her.
Red Tornado really making her life hard, slowing her down, making her work for it. And La Lucha's back in the pack. Treasure Valley's all over her. But she finally escapes.
Jackal and Hide the Body lending some assistance to Red Tornado on Demolition Barbie. And now Demolition Barbie back in the same situation as La Lucha comes barreling in. She's going to get 2 points, 3 points for Demolition Barbie and Treasure Valley there. And now Treasure Valley up 140-131 with 12.5 minutes to go. Going to come down to a nail biter, Lucinda.
Absolutely. This is going to be one of those last jam games. I can feel it. Enemy of the State, number 503, is back on the line for Sac City against Idaho for Treasure Valley.
Idaho able to keep her skate on the infield. She recycles herself back, now gets to the front. She's got 2 blockers to help her. Sinister Kate and Raggedy Annihilation up there, and now they're going to have to turn around and play defense as Enemy of the State mixes it up, and now Idaho breaks through. Lead jammer for Treasure Valley. Enemy of the State now tiptoes the inside line and gets through her initial pass. Idaho digging those hips into the blocker of Sac City, number 12, Devastator, and Idaho picking up 4 more points for Treasure Valley. Again, if you're watching at home, Treasure Valley in the white with the pink accents, Sac City in the blue. 144-131, Treasure Valley with the lead, and 11 minutes to go here in the second period.
Desiree is donning the star as Treasure Valley starts at a 3-4 disadvantage against Sac City. But they got their MVP, Donna the Shred, out there jamming for them. Desiree ducks to the outside and gets lead jammer. And Treasure Valley immediately goes to offense, trying to spring Donna the Shred.
Desiree with a nice line on the outside, and she's able to skate around. Scarlet Danger eyeing her up, knocks her out of bounds, but Scarlet Danger picks up an out-of-play penalty, so she goes to the penalty box as Desiree now able to break away, and she puts 5 points on the board for Sac City.
Scarlet looked like a woman on a mission, but she was just a little bit too far ahead of the pack there.
Yeah, we had a great view of that here coming between turn 3 and 4. We saw Scarlet eyeing her up, but she just got a little too far out in front, picks up the penalty. Meanwhile, Dawn of the Shred now on a scoring pass. She cuts through and picks up 2, so that's a 2-2 draw. And Dawn of the Shred will take that happily. 146, 138, just under 10 minutes to go.
Sac's been doing a good job all game playing offense, but really they need to tighten it up. Dawn was able to get those 2 points because they played offense just a little bit too long. So they got to keep an eye on the opposing jammer and switch back to defense a little bit more quickly to keep her from scoring points.
It's the beauty of the sport is playing offense and defense at the same time simultaneously. That's kind of a redundancy, I think. My bad. Demolition Barbie jamming for Treasure Valley. La Lucha out there for Sac City, and Demolition Barbie picks up lead jammer status.
La Lucha just has one to get past, but she's going to try to slow her down as much as she can and give her teammates an opportunity to help her out. Scarlet getting in front. Oh, did she make it? No, that's a cut track on that inside line. It was such a pretty pirouette on that one skate, but not quite legal.
No style points in roller derby. That is a penalty. So Demolition Barbie on a power jam situation for Treasure Valley, and she splits the uprights and picks up 5 points.
With just 2 blockers on the track, Treasure Valley can really help out Demolition Barbie and get her some points.
And you see Treasure Valley coming up, faking the offensive help. That allows Barbie to push that pack out front. And now Demolition Barbie with 5 more in her back pocket comes again. Looks to split the uprights once again as she skates around the outside, gets around number 78, Bazooka Salt, and puts 5 more on the board. And now La Lucha out of the pack. That was just her initial pass.
Wonderful timing on that offense for Treasure Valley, giving Demolition Barbie another scoring pass.
So Treasure Valley now on a little bit of a roll, taking their lead up 170 to 138 as we come under the 8-minute mark here in period 2. And just a tight jammer rotation this whole game. Idaho back out there for Treasure Valley, sharing time with Dawn of the Shred and Demolition Barbie. And for Sac City, Enemy of the State out there.
Treasure Valley at a blocker disadvantage, so they start together up front in kind of a diamond formation, hoping to catch that jammer, and they sure do. That was a nice hit to the outside.
Cutting the track penalty called on Enemy of the State, so she goes to the penalty box, putting Treasure Valley back in a power jam situation, and that's number 208. That's Idaho for Treasure Valley. Goes inside, goes outside, shoulder to shoulder with number 327, the Naka.
Naka had some amazing footwork there, really containing but staying with Idaho.
Lots of communication going on the track as we can hear it. Idaho is going to go ahead and call off the jam with Enemy of the State standing in the penalty box. 4 more points for Treasure Valley as we got 6.5 minutes to go here in this first bout for both teams in this 3-day tournament.
It's really interesting to watch when Treasure Valley chooses to play offense versus when they choose to be passive. With these 30-second power jams, it's a lot less time for your jammer to fight for herself.
lending to trying to encourage more offensive blocking? Is that?
Absolutely. I would expect that there would be some more offense, but Treasure Valley is really trying to pull the no-pack call by stringing back and waiting for a blocker to come from the box or just preparing for when the jammer returns.
Well, and keeping those blockers on their toes. Are they coming up to block? Are they not? What's going on? Just divert their attention ever so slightly. Meanwhile, on the track, Dawn of the Shred with a lead jammer, and she comes flying around the outside. Picks up 2 more points for Treasure Valley. And now Treasure Valley out 176-138, 5.5 minutes to go. And now I think it becomes a bit of clock management. Get lead, maintain your points lead, get time off the clock, hopefully get away with the win.
There's definitely nothing as called an insurmountable lead in roller derby. No lead is too great, no deficit is too large. So the smart, get your points and call it. Don't let the other team score. It's a good strategy for Treasure Valley.
Demolition Barbie jamming for Treasure Valley. She gets lead jammer designation, and it seems this last half of this second period has been completely dominated by Treasure Valley, getting lead jammer, capitalizing on the power jams, and extending their lead.
Absolutely impressive, just falls through that wall. La Lucha picks up 4 points.
Looks like we've got a official review being asked for by Sac City. So the captains of Sac City will go to the center of the track, as will the captains from Treasure Valley. I want to let you know some more of the raffle prizes up for grabs. How about the Eugene Hilton, a one-night stay for 2? How about some living colored duct tape? Memento Ink giving you a 2-hour-long tattoo sessions. Oh, 2 one-hour-long tattoo sessions from Memento Ink. Get your raffle tickets, 1 for 6. Excuse me. 1 ticket for $1, 6 for $5, $10 for the length of tickets from your nose to your finger.
Hopefully you've got long arms.
Or $20 for the height of a person.
Do I get to pick the person?
You get to pick the person.
So I gotta find Bold Nugget if I wanna.
I was thinking Biggie Talls.
Oh, that's a good one too. But Knee High Ninja probably out of the running for that one.
Yeah. So get your big O raffle tickets. And again, the grand prize is 2 RollerCon MVP passes. I'll go find myself Biggie Talls and get me some raffle tickets. The height. Do I get him on skates too?
Oh man, that's like another 4 or 5.
So official review on the track.
Sac City was requesting an official review. They believe that a forearm penalty should have been issued to Treasure Valley Jammer in the last jam. After reviewing the call with the officials, no call stands.
So the official review for asking for a penalty on the Treasure Valley Jammer, no call on the track stands. So we are squared away here. 4 minutes, 27 seconds to go. Treasure Valley 180, Sac City 142. A typical call stance. And
La Lucha for Sac City up against Idaho. And Idaho around the outside and lead jammer.
Idaho fighting through that pack of blue to get that lead jammer status as La Lucha able to break through her initial pass. And now just 3 blockers on the track for Sac City as Idaho busts through. She gets a pull from Raggedy Annihilation. She's already got her 4 points and she calls it off. And now Treasure Valley 184, 142, just under 4 minutes to go.
4-2 pack advantage for Treasure Valley as Donna the Shred goes up against Enemy of the State. Treasure Valley immediately sets up almost an L formation with 3 blockers on the back and 1 to the side to reinforce that wall. And we see how effective it is, forcing the jammer out and running her back.
And they've always got that one skater, it seems like, turned backwards so she can see what's going on behind her. That skater goes out of bounds. She's the first one to the back of the pack to try and draw that cut.
She's also putting on the brakes with her toe stops, helping her fellow blockers contain that jammer. But Sac City's sure not making it easy for Donna the Shred.
Scarlet Danger with a hip check, but it's just a bit too low, so she picks up a low block call. She goes to the penalty box. Enemy of the State now out of her initial pass, not lead jammer. That belongs to Dawn of the Shred. And she looks to her jam ref and says, I'm calling it. I'll take my 4 and go home. So a 46-point lead here for Treasure Valley. We come upon the 2-minute warning, and they send out a Demolition Barbie with just 2 Treasure Valley blockers out there.
And they're giving the pivot line some love as Desiree from Sac City comes up to them. Quick duck to the outside, and Desiree is lead jammer. And it looks like Demolition Barbie's going out on a forearm call. So power jam, Sac City.
And Demolition Barbie scooting around the outside to the penalty box. Power jam here for Desiree as Sinister Kate pulls her back to the jam line to recycle her. Aurelia Spine, the only other blocker out there, is now Scarlet Danger comes out of the penalty box, as does On a Highway to Hell. So a full 4 blockers out there for Treasure Valley. Scarlet Danger gives a hit and takes a hit, and she bounces back up.
Sac City pretty effectively keeping Scarlet back.
Highway to Hell gets an out-of-play call. She goes to the penalty box. 5 points for Desiree, and now Demolition Barbie out of the penalty box, out of the pack, on a scoring run, forcing the call off by Desiree. As we've come under 1 minute to play, 188, 152. Nothing is set in stone here with a 36-point lead by Treasure Valley. This jam is going to be very important for both teams.
And it's not impossible. If you were watching the Kansas City Rose game this morning, you saw Scald Eagle get a 40-point jam in the very first jam, and it wasn't even a power jam. So not an insurmountable lead.
So it's safe to say she came out red hot?
Red hot.
Red hot. Scalding hot.
She just flew through those packs.
Timeout on the track is being charged to Sac City here. That is their last timeout.
Treasure Valley didn't use any of their timeouts or their official review yet this game.
Which is impressive. Beastwood usually likes 1 or 2 timeouts just 'cause. Okay, so a clarification, one of Sac City's timeouts was an official review, so they still do have one timeout on the board, as Treasure Valley has all 3 of their timeouts. So timeout over. Looks like we've got 1 blocker each sitting in the penalty box. And La Lucha and Idaho jamming for their respective teams.
Everybody's really dug in on that jammer line as it's a slow defensive start to this jam.
Well, whether the TVR gets lead jammer or not, they want time off the clock. So if, back block called on Idaho. She goes to the penalty box. So that's going to put La Lucha in a power jam situation. Lead jammer still up for grabs here. And it is awarded to La Lucha, so 16 seconds left on the game clock. Lead jammer for Sac City and Treasure Valley with a 36-point lead.
It's definitely doable, especially if Sac City continues to play their really smart offense and get their jammer out of that pack quickly. But Treasure Valley is not going to make it easy for them.
No, Treasure Valley not afraid to play a little defense and hit, as Clockwise called on somebody for Treasure Valley. That looks like Aurelia Spine with the Clockwise. 5 points on the board for La Lucha and Sac City, as Idaho out of the penalty box now. Just 3 blockers out there, and that's going to get Idaho out. Not lead jammer, that is La Lucha. La Lucha now on her 2nd scoring pass. She's got highway to hell to get around, and she can't. Scarlet Danger trying to draw her back, as Idaho now breaks through her scoring pass. That's 4 points for Treasure Valley. And now Idaho back around the track. La Lucha takes a hit from Savage. God Dame Savage with a nice defensive stance. And La Lucha recycles, gets back to the front, and there's Savage and Scarlet again.
Treasure Valley playing offense, bridging, and playing defense all at once. And they got La Lucha sucked back into the pack when she was just feet from exiting.
And that's going to do it. Unofficial, that is going to be the end. 4 points for La Lucha there on that last pass. 3 points for Idaho. And so the unofficial final here, Treasure Valley 195, Sac City 161. Great game, really some good defensive work, some good offensive work by both teams, and strong jamming on both sides.
Absolutely. I just really want to give a hat tip to Sac City. Their offense was so good, so on point. They got their jammer out quickly for a lead jammer. Their second passes were easy for points. They just had to stay on the track a little bit more.
And they kept it all together. When they were getting their jammers out, they were also playing good defense. So it really helped them get some 10, 15-point jams. So Treasure Valley taking their victory lap. They'll go home and take a nice little ice bath. They'll be back at 9 a.m. tomorrow. They'll take on
Ole Rollers. They're playing Ole tomorrow and then Rose the day after. Definitely an aggressive schedule for these ladies from Boise.
Well, Lucinda, not too bad a job for your first time on the mic. I appreciate calling with you.
Thanks for taking it easy on me on my first time.
And congrats to the Treasure Valley Roller Girls and Sac City here. Great bout, great entertainment. We'll see both these teams later on. For Lucinda Pack, I am Candyman signing off. Thank you.